Welcome back from that. Now, the African News Update. Nigeria has extended its ban on export of raw shea nuts till February 2027 in a move aimed at boosting domestic processing and strengthening value addition within the country's agricultural sector. President Bola Tinubu approved the one-year extension, saying the policy is designed to enhance local capacity, protect livelihoods in shea-producing communities, and shifts the focus on exporting raw materials to finished products. Officials described the extension as part of broader economic transformation strategy agreed upon by both federal and subnational authorities. By encouraging local processing, the government hopes to increase revenue, create jobs, and position Nigeria more competitively in the global shea butter and cosmetic market. Meanwhile, similar themes of national interest and sovereignty are emerging elsewhere on the continent. Zambia has rejected a proposed $1 billion U.S. health funding agreement over clauses linking the aid package to mining partnerships. The 5-year deal intended to combat HIV/AIDS and malaria reportedly tied funding to a bilateral compact involving copper and cobalt assets. Lusaka says it requested revisions to sections that did not align with its national interest, joining other African countries in pushing back against conditions they consider sovereignty compromising. Health advocates, however, warn that any prolonged delay could affect life-saving programs for thousands of vulnerable citizens. In contrast, however, Congo has moved ahead with Washington, signing a $1.2 billion health partnership. Under the agreement, the United States will provide up to $900 million over 5 years to fight HIV, tuberculosis, malaria, and maternal and child mortality, while Congo commits to increasing its own domestic health spending by $300 million. The deal is part of a new wave of bilateral agreement under the U.S.-American First Framework aimed at promoting shared responsibility and long-term sustainability. Still, the different responses from African nations highlight an ongoing debate about balancing foreign assistance with control over strategic sectors and national data. And while governments navigate complex diplomatic negotiations, humanitarian needs remain urgent in parts of the continent. The European Union has announced 63 million euros in humanitarian funding for Somalia, where conflict with Al-Shabaab militants and prolonged drought continue to devastate communities. The EU says the funds will prioritize life-saving health and nutrition services, adding to more than 750 million euros it has provided in Somalia since 2017. The announcement follows warning of the World Food Programme that food assistance could end without fresh funding, underscoring the fragile situation on the ground. Elsewhere, Gabon says it is in talks with Meta and TikTok following the suspension of social media platforms earlier this month. Authorities blame online content for fueling division and accused tech companies of failing to address defamatory and violent materials despite warnings. Critics have described the ban as disproportionate, but the government insists it is a temporary suspension pending stronger regulatory measures. Some users continue to access platforms through virtual private networks, even as negotiations with companies continue. In Southern Africa, environmental authorities are grappling with a severe red tide along South Africa's west coast that is causing mass death of crayfish and other marine life. Officials have warned the public not to collect or consume the shellfish as toxic algae bloom can produce harmful substances. The outbreak has led to what authorities described as a mass walkout of rock lobsters attempting to escape oxygen-depleted waters, with large numbers washing up dead on beaches. The incident raises fresh concerns about ecological sustainability and the impact on coastal fishing communities. In East Africa, Uganda's Supreme Court has confirmed President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's victory in the January 15, 2026 presidential election. The decision came after the only pending legal challenge to the result was withdrawn by former candidate Robert Kasipante, who cited financial and logistical constraints. The ruling brings the electoral process to a formal close, cementing Museveni's re-election and setting the stage for the next phase of governance in the country.